To begin with, both deployments in those categories serve the same purpose. They serve the same purpose differently. What I mean, and you, as you are seeking clarification, we've been serving under the UN. We have forces from Rwanda serving under the UN for quite some time, for many years now, under MINUSCA currently. So and when we were asked to provide more troops, if we will, on the side of the UN, we were still willing to do that because we were able to and because we were asked. I think it was in the realization of the big problem that was being attended to and that required more troops under the UN. But that was the UN's call, or the international community's call for that to happen. That's on one hand. On the other hand, the other deployment we have had there under bilateral arrangement really came in reinforcement of the earlier effort I have already mentioned. Reinforcement in a sense that under the UN and bilateral, I can say in dealing with some of these problems, or the very problems we are supposed to work on in those two forms of deployment, one force may move quicker than the other. There are different rules that govern, in fact, that speed, if you will. But the rules are more or less also similar. They are built. It's like you all agree you are going to do something, and you see it the same way, but one is able to move faster than the other. That's the only difference. The dimension of bilateral arrangement in terms of this deployment brought in more speed, more action faster than the other one, because there are so many things to, with for example, the UN. There are, it's like doing business. You have heard of this ease of doing business. All countries want to do business. They more or less follow the same rules, but some are faster in having businesses registered and therefore on the ground doing what they're supposed to do than others, because one track maybe provides you with 100 steps to follow, while the other provides you with 20 steps to follow, or 10, or 5. But you're really all operating in the same area with the same sense of what rules that need to be followed, but on one track you are moving faster than the other. That's the only difference. So there was a sense of urgency when we deployed under the bilateral arrangement, that everyone thought that if we had to wait for the other force, it might take longer to arrive than the actual need was for action in terms of time. That's why the Central African Republic, which was under pressure of these groups, operating and moving fast and trying to destabilize. The Central African Republic was going for elections around that time, and these rebel groups emerged and were moving fast. They were threatening the capital. Yes, MINUSCA was there. I'm sure they didn't want this to happen, that the rebels would overrun the city of Bangui and derail the elections. But maybe they were still studying, and sometimes bureaucracies and affect decisions and the speed at which they are made. I think this is what happens. And we couldn't give orders to our troops that were under the UN, because they are under the UN. They are under the command of the UN. They have a force commander, they have structures, they have sort of different kinds of rules of engagement, but to serve the same purpose. So we could not do that. So we were more comfortable having this arrangement, and by this we were able to deploy the forces under that arrangement faster and to serve the same purpose. The UN was supposed to be serving, but maybe they were a bit slow, and that's how the rules governing them suggest. So I cannot change that. President Touadéra could not change that. But there was a problem on the ground that needed urgent intervention. I don't think I can explain it any better than that.